Judge, I've obviously not seen the letter. Ms. Boone is correct. She has walked out of the last 2 visits when I've tried to review things with her. Just so the court knows, I've spent probably 20 hours, a little bit more, a little bit less, with Ms. Boone. She has lots of lists, lots of questions. In reviewing the court file, she was distressed previously about having access to her lawyers. I have taken collect phone calls from her that are at my expense. JAC doesn't reimburse you because I think it's important for clients to have access. I have spent...
Hang on, please. No one's interrupted you this morning, Ms. Boone.
As I said, I've spent over 20 hours going through her questions, going through her lists. When I tried to update her with regard to the depositions that I took recently, she opted to exit the jail conference. When I tried to review some things with regard to discovery as to things I wanted to make sure she was aware of, she walked out. She has asked me repeatedly for a copy of some medical records. Based on the discovery I got from the previous attorneys, one of the copies of those medical records had her handwritten notes. So she had a copy given to her previously. She'd reviewed them with previous attorneys. I sent her a new copy. Some of the things that she thinks are important from a lawyer perspective, perhaps I don't attach the same importance to, and you try to explain that to a client. You know, I know the court's in a difficult position, but at this point, we're at that impasse of, if she walks out of every conference that I have with her, I'm not sure what that says about the attorney-client relationship.
Ma'am, you said there was something else that you had other than a 58-page submittal or letter. What other information is it that you're seeking to have me take a look at?
It's things that I've been working on in the meantime. It's things that she likes to tell me is not necessary, but I know for a fact it is necessary. She likes to, in quotes, put things to rest all the time and constantly tells me I'm not having this conversation with you. So I'm not going to waste my time, and I, being in jail, have supposedly abundant amounts of. She's not going to waste my time because she's not going to explain something to me. And I have taken it upon myself to explain it to myself because she refuses to do so. I don't understand what it is that she has against me. I have told her from day one that her snotty attitude was inappropriate, and I try very hard to bear with her and her attitude. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong to her, but I feel that her attitude has equaled prejudice, which is not in my favor, especially considering she's supposedly representing my life.
Okay. Give me an example of, if you could, of items that you believe are important Ms. Cashman is not giving attention to or dismissing as you may have framed it.
Yes, Your Honor. She likes to tell me that I don't like her answers. She's not giving me any answers to this. I've written 3 pages worth of questions, and I'm still waiting for her and any other attorney to actually answer for me, such as, why can't I have a bond? Why can't I have a download of my phone? Why can't I speak to my investigator? Why can't I have my medical records? Why can't I fully utilize my constitutional rights? There's 3 pages worth of questions that I have.
What constitutional rights specifically?
I'm very leery about having a fair trial at this point. There are a handful of other amendments that I have been researching and working on and trying to incorporate. To me, what I have written to you is obvious, and apparently from the correspondence that I get from the world, South Korea was the last place that I received correspondence. They obviously see the same thing. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong other than wanting to have a very successful outcome. It's just been long and drawn out, and I believe that God obviously will consider me as much as I do him in order for him to give me this very unique adventure that I am on, and I'm doing my best to let everyone know who I really am as opposed to the malicious murderer that everyone thinks that I am. I don't feel that she can do that properly. I still always, the reason why I'm here is to hope that she will come in with a gentle, softer side and actually listen to what it is that I'm saying and see the bigger picture other than what's the one avenue that she keeps going down. There's other ways to win and more than one way. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not saying that I'm trying to remove her. I'm just trying to ask you, please, forgive me for having to ask you for this. If you could please let her know, please, to just be nice to me and have a welcoming attitude, and things will probably change, and I will not get up and I walk out. Please don't lie to me. Please don't give me half-truths. And
What instances where there's been falsities or lies that have been told to you by Ms. Cashman? Can you give me an example?
my biggest one, Your Honor, is for me being here ongoing 5 years, no one has ever bothered to try to get me a bond.
What's the lie? You said that she has lied to you. What is the lie?
The process of getting a bond. She lied to my brother in regards to telling him that he would need to come down to the courthouse to have multiple photographs taken for documentation. He would have to bring the security information deeds to his house.
Oh my, there's so much to say here. Where do we begin? Let me bring back in my friends, Tommy Pope and Michael J. Brown. Okay, so we're on lawyer number 8. God bless this woman, Patricia Cashman, the attorney. We just saw the back of her head, the blonde curly hair, addressing the judge, saying she spent 20 hours with Sarah Boone. She's even taken collect calls at her own expense. She serves with the Office of the Public Defender there and has taken calls that she's had to pay for out of her own pocket when she's not making a lot of money, you know, because she wants to be devoted to her client, and her client is walking out of discussions with her, and they have reached this impasse. Tommy, Sarah Boone has had a problem with every single attorney. Do you think the problem is Sarah Boone?
You know, at some time, you know, you've been through 8 or 9 relationships, and it's always them. Maybe it's not, you know. I was thinking as she was talking, inside Ms. Cashman's head is, oh, Judge, please relieve me. Oh, Judge, please relieve me. Because, you know, the defendant was saying, oh, I don't want her to leave. I just want her to be nicer to me. Michael could probably shed some light on this. I would be terrified to be held hostage, you know, by this defendant, because I think think what she's really doing, she is effectively denying herself of counsel. You know, you've got a right to be present in the courtroom, but if you have misconduct, you can be removed. We've seen that in other cases. I think that's in essence what she's doing here. I don't know what state, you know, and what their rules are, but it seems to me a matter of time you're going to have this, because she thinks she's smarter than all of her attorneys anyway. Just go ahead. It'll be misery, but let her represent herself. I think the worst scenario, and again, Michael could shed some light, I'd hate to be a defense attorney tied to this client. I mean, I guess basically you'd sit there in the courtroom, let her run her mouth while you checked your messages and worried about your bar license.
Right. You know who I'm thinking of? Our friend Kirk Nurmi with Jodi Arias. You know, I mean, poor Kirk, you know, wrote a book about it. His life with Ms. Arias. He's never been the same since. God bless him. Great guy. It saved her life, by the way. So yeah, Sarah Boone. Okay. Obviously, she is the common thread with all these problems. Are all these 8 lawyers bad? No, they're not. We've seen them in court. They are excellent attorneys. She's fortunate to have them. Michael, I want to know what you thought when we heard Sarah Boone speak after she tried to interrupt her lawyer and the judge quieted her down. And she goes, I just want her to be nice to me. I want her to be more loving. She's not a therapy dog. She's her lawyer. Michael, what do you think?
You know, Julie, Tom and I are laughing, and we can laugh because we're not the attorneys in that courtroom.
Thank goodness.
So I'm watching it, and anybody who's done this, we've all been in that situation, and it's not a pleasant one because you want to do your job, and they won't let you do your job. I think it's clear that what ultimately is going to happen here is she's going to be representing herself, and nobody wants that. The judge doesn't want that. The prosecutor doesn't want that. The jury doesn't want that. But she effectively is going to cut ties with any attorney, and ultimately she's going to have to stand up there and represent herself, and that's the worst possible thing that could happen to any defendant.
You both are so smart. I think that is the biggest takeaway. You both are right that, as you said, Thomas, she's effectively in her behavior denying herself counsel. And as you said, Michael, unfortunately, this is how this is going to go. And the judge at some point is going to say, okay, TikTok, you know, this has been going on for years. We're going to stop it at some point, and then we're going to see her pro se, which let's just get on with it, right? Since she's, like you said, Tommy, she thinks she's smarter than everybody. Perhaps she should just represent herself and get what she called, she said she wants a very successful outcome. Her boyfriend died, and she filmed it and taunted him. So there is that. Tommy and Michael, stand by, please. We're going to hit a break. There's more from the hearing. It's not over, my friends. It's still going. We just have to hit our first break of the hour. This is Court TV Live, and as we head to the break, let's remember the victim on the right side of the screen, Mr. Jorge Torres, who lost his life in that incident with Sarah Boone.
They're going to think I killed him.
Why would they think that?
They always have said that. They've always have said that.
What have they
I
said?
told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me. Because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Guess what, my friends? The White Dragon is in court this morning in Florida. There's a status check on her case because, surprise, surprise, she can't get along with her 8th lawyer. Patricia Cashman just detailed for the judge all of the efforts she has gone to try to have a good, healthy, professional working relationship with Sarah Boone. But according to Sarah Boone, that's not good enough. She wants the attorney to be nicer to her. She wants her to have a more loving demeanor when she talks with her. Let's go back in. We hit the pause button right before the break. Let's go back in and hear more. The defendant is addressing the judge as she's seated in the jury box.
To her, and then it turns into everything else. And then it turns into all these other different stories of why she won't do or why she has said certain things. It always changes and it mutates after I ask her for certain things, not just for the bond, but for other things also.
Okay, well, let's focus on the bond issue because you said that she's lied to you, and what you've told me so far, none of that is inaccurate.
So how is it though, because I don't have any experience prior to this, I don't know the process of getting a bond other than what I have read, and it's just for her to do a bond, a motion for a bond hearing. But I didn't know that anyone, all of the other inmates through that process in order to have photographs taken and documented and news crews and visit to his house. He's not posting my bond, which I told her a million and one times, but she still spooked him by asking by him something that he's going to have to, and it would threaten his security clearance considering he's in the service, the military. So she totally deterred me from having my brother's address in order for me to have a motion for a bond. No one else has even bothered to even ask me for one, and I will be honest with you, and the court, I know for a fact with however sky high my limit would be for my bond to receive, I know for a fact unless my fans would set up GoFundMe pages or God's will or however else it is he planned on for me to have it paid, if at all, my point is to utilize my rights to have a bond. And with the information I have included in here to you for the amount of saturation of publicity, there's nowhere that I could go even if I were to be at in quotes flight risk because of the amount of information that everybody already knows about me, what I look like, and what I eat apparently, and so many other things. There's nowhere I could go if I were to even think about being a flight risk. It's just the fact that I would like please to have a bond so I can say that I actually achieved something.
Okay, we're going to address bond in just a second, but let's back the truck up here for a moment. Did you guys hear what I heard? That she said, my fans? Did she say she has fans because she's gained notoriety by being a defendant in a homicide case? The homicide of her boyfriend? Did she just say she has fans? Let's go back into the courtroom and listen now.
Never told me he had to provide pictures or deeds to a house. What I said was, the media's been in the courtroom for all the hearings, and it's likely that they would be there for the bond hearing, and that your face could be on the television, and it was a concern for him. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. But Judge, I can't spend all my time defending what I'm doing and at the same time be effectively preparing a case for trial. In these situations, I know it puts the court in a very difficult position. As I see it, Ms. Boone has a couple options. Number one, she can ask you to represent herself. She has the right to. You have a Feretta hearing and determine whether she's capable. The court then has to address the issue of whether it's appropriate to appoint standby counsel. Obviously, since she believes not a word that I say after 40 years of doing criminal defense, I'm probably not the right lawyer for that. The other thing is she gets one last lawyer and either works or it doesn't. And sometimes, unfortunately, the court gets put in a position that you have to have that conversation with a client that you don't, if you want your counsel of choice, then you need to hire your counsel of choice, and everyone can certainly do that. And if you're indigent, the court can only go through this so many times with Ms. Boone coming to the court and there ending up being irreconcilable differences such that the counsel that you have appointed can't move forward and provide effective assistance to counsel.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm inclined to go ahead and figure out.
Patricia Cashman is right. She has an obligation under the law when you sign up to do criminal defense work to provide effective assistance to your client. Lawyers can get in really big trouble with that. I mean, cases can be overturned because of ineffective assistance. Someone could lose their law license if it's really bad, depending on the circumstances. And as you can see, that's not the case here. There's nothing ineffective about what Patricia Cashman is doing. She told the court 42 years she has served and practiced criminal defense work. Any defendant would be lucky to have a seasoned attorney like that, who does, by the way, appear to be very nice and pleasant. And as the judge noted, no lies are being discovered here. Just so you know, my friends, our video signal has been taking hits. That's why I'm coming out here a little more frequently and sharing some of my analysis with you. We're good. We've got the video back. Let's go in together again.
My last week of my period is the first full week of August, and it starts again on the last full week of August. So we could set it then, but I know that you have trial case management with Judge Marquez on the 20th or the 21st of June, which may impact that. So,
And I have a trial certain with Judge Harris August 5th, and
as do I.
August seems a bit difficult for me.
For a week, for Mr. Robinson. Yes. So the options that I see it are, we could specially set this for the week of August 26th, or we set it for the trial period beginning September 30. The hiccup with that first week of September 30 is we have a court holiday on Thursday, October the 3rd, which would limit us to a 4-day trial period, which I don't believe is not sufficient. So that would take us to either October 7 or October 14. So based on the court's trial calendar, that's what I've got available. August 26th, October 7, or October 14.
I think the October 7 or October 14th is more realistic, Judge. I know that Mr. Cacciatore has other trials too, and other things on other judges' pretrial dockets and those things.
We're specially set in July and in September. Mr. Cacciatore?
I think we can, I think October 7th is fine.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to specially set this matter for the second week of the September 30 trial period, beginning Monday, October 7th. We will set this matter for trial case management on the 24th of September, right? On September 24 at 9 a.m. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do you at 1:30 in the afternoon.
It's Tuesday, September 20th.
Tuesday, September 24 at 1:30 in the afternoon for our trial case management. Trial date certain on October the 7th. Deputy, if you could please grab the 2 packages of submittals from Ms. Boone. Oh, I thought it was 2 different envelopes, ma'am. Okay. I will review that, and after the review, the court will either issue an order or set this matter for hearing based on what it is that's been presented by Ms. Boone. Mr. Cacciatore, anything else we need to address this morning, sir?
Not the same.
Ms. Cashman, anything else we need to address?
Not that I'm aware of at this time, Judge.
Ms. Boone, is there anything else you need to bring to my attention at this time?
I'm grateful for your time. I was forgiven for having to utilize it. But I really do hope that you review thoroughly what it is that I'm asking for from my attorney who's supposed to be representing me for the trial that's supposedly happening in October, late September. So if you could please, I don't understand how I'm supposed to be able to go into a trial when I don't have what it is to properly defend myself.
Ma'am, I've asked for your submittals. I will be reviewing them. All right, thank you. All right, y'all, thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Judge.
Ooh, you need a deep breath after that. I feel like I need some Tylenol. Let's hit the pause button here as Sarah Boone is escorted back to court. We'll watch this video. She exits the screen. Back to jail she goes. No adjustment on her bond. I don't know what she expects. This is a homicide case. Very rarely do we see somebody out on a bond in a homicide case. We're going to be giving you lots of analysis on what just happened right here after the break.
Tonight on Court TV.
These are the big cases.